выпала высокая честь сказать сердечное спасибо дорогому Леониду Ильичу Брежневу, доброму другу юных ленинцев, за то, что мы живем в стране счастливого детства, за неутомимую борьбу за мир, счастье всех детей планеты.
My Perestroika is about 5 people who grew up together in Moscow. They were childhood classmates. And I would say they're really the last generation of Soviet children who grew up completely behind the Iron Curtain. The idea behind the film was to present a kind of in-depth, three-dimensional portrait of a few people of this generation. That meant that they had normal Soviet childhoods, just like everybody else, and never ever thought that the Soviet Union would ever collapse. And then they were teenagers under Gorbachev, and they're figuring out their own identities and their own kind of growing pains, just as the country is changing so rapidly. And then they graduate from college, and the country collapses. There's no model to follow, there are no rules to understand, and they're no longer assigned a job for the rest of their life. So the 5 of them, as everybody else of their age, has to figure out how to invent themselves in this new world.
Все, и потом мне в 87-м, по-моему, году в институте предлагали, надо вступать в партию. Говорю, пошли вы со своей партией. Вместе с Михаилом Сергеевичем Горбачевым. Там, ну, тогда уже как бы можно было хамить. Поэтому ничего бы за это не стало.
The life that Bordy and Luba and all the other people in the film grew up with is becoming ancient history for children who were simply born after the end of the collapse of the country.
Это одна из самых ужасных проблем вообще преподавания истории, как преподавать советскую историю детям. Потому что нормальному рассудку, каковым рассудком является ребенок, это ребенкин рассудок, это не подвластно. Ну, не подвластно.
People in my film who were children back then, the experiences they had growing up are very different from the experiences that their kids are having.
Пионеры, в борьбе за дело Коммунистической партии Советского Союза будьте готовы. Всегда готовы.
It's like the largest generation gap that you can even imagine. I mean, there are always generation gaps. I'm very different from my parents, but we grew up in a country where more or less the ideas behind what the country was are the same. Whereas for them, when the people in the film, when they were young, if you bought something at one price and you sold it at a profit, you would go to jail. I mean, that was like you were a speculant, and that was illegal. And now all of a sudden, that's what you're supposed to do if you want to be successful. And it just, on such a fundamental level, you don't really see the kind of ideas behind a country shift so completely, so quickly. And then a whole new generation of kids grow up in that. And I guess what I'm trying to do with the film is to put the ordinary, intimate, personal stories in the foreground, and history and politics kind of come into the film when they come into the lives of the people in the film.
Я не могу сказать, что мне хотелось быть как все. Я была как все.
I'm very excited that this is the European premiere of my Perestroika, and we have, I don't know when this will go up, but I hope we have a screening Saturday at 3:45 and Sunday at 6 o'clock at the Cinematheque. And I really, really love when people stay for the Q&As, because that's sort of the most exciting part as a director, to get to talk to the audiences.